Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name's Steve, there's Howie, and before I go any further I'd just like to give a big thank you to all my subscribers. I've managed to reach just over 500 now, which to me is a nice little achievement, shall we say, and I'm really happy about that. If you do like my content and the images that I take, don't hesitate to just give that either a like button a click or subscribe. Thank you very much. Right, back to today's photography. Came here the other day, exactly the same location as my last video. My plan was to shoot heathland because it's a dull day. I didn't really want to do any woodland photography, I just wanted to shoot this heathland. But I couldn't get onto it because it was absolutely flooded out. Today I've decided to come back here again and I'm going to try and shoot it again, but from a different angle. There is a path, I think I can get to the back of where I want to go, to this heathland, and I'm going to try and take some pictures from that side rather than from the side I'm on at the moment. It's about another extra mile walk, which isn't too bad, so I'm going to head on there now and see what we can get. So I've made it to my first composition of the day. I've got a lone tree. Oh, wait for the wind to die down a bit. Oh, that wind's picking up, it's starting to drizzle a bit as well now. So I've come across my first composition. It's for tree that's just basically sat in a puddle, as you can see behind me. But what I do like about this tree is it's got some character going on because it's laying over at a weird angle. It's just like virtually just wanting to flop forward into that puddle there. We've got a little bit of puddle in the foreground, well, it's a river actually, and then behind it we've got that great big flood just behind it as well. I've walked around it several times to try and get the best angle, and I want to get it with some separation as well. So we've got a tree on this side here. I have to get in quite close because that tree on that side encroaches on the image on that side, and also we've got another bush just there as well, so I'm gonna have to go quite tight on this one. I do like it. It doesn't really matter about the light today. It's just solid cloud, so you're just getting a soft light all the way through, so it doesn't matter if you take it from the left hand side, the right hand side. What you have got though is the pond itself is reflecting light back up onto the tree, so you're not going to get so many dark shadows on this. Luckily I'll be able to take just a picture of it and then got the light coming down, and also you've got the reflection of the light bouncing back up again. So I'm going to set up now, just make sure I get exactly where I want to be, and then I'll talk you through some of the settings. Right, I've settled on the composition I want now. So we've got this tree, and we're going to have that on the third on the left hand side of the image. We're going to have this as a base, which is the river, and just behind it we're also going to incorporate the little pond just behind there. As the tree is going to the left hand side, we are then going to use that little bush on the right hand side just to balance the picture out a bit, because otherwise the whole tree is just going to be shooting off to the left hand side and we're going to have nothing on the right hand side to balance it out. So I'll just get behind the camera and I'll show you the settings. So we're going to be shooting at 1/15 of a second, f11 ISO 100. I'm going to be focusing basically dead in the middle of that tree, and we just get that nice and sharp as possible. I think that's about there. Come back out again. The wind's picked up very, very slightly, so I'm just going to wait for the drop, and here we go. So I've walked about 20 minutes from my last shot and I've just come across some absolutely fantastic gnarly old oaks. Got this one behind us here. I like that one. I've walked around it a couple of times, but I can't seem to get the separation that I'm looking for. We've got too many trees just over to that side, and in the background we've got this tree here, which is another oak, and this is even more spectacular. I absolutely love this one here. So I've decided to shoot this one in the foreground. I might even use my 10 to 24mm lens just to get as much in as I possibly can. Don't really use it that often. I should use it more often than I do. It's quite a fun lens to use, actually, really blows stuff up. So if I come back a little bit further, and what I would like to do is get this in the foreground, this gnarly old oak here, and just to the left hand side, where are we? Just there, we've got the other oak. So basically it fills up the background as well as the foreground. Not quite sure which angle yet. I've also thought about getting this angle from here, looking up, and having that in the background on the right hand side. Not quite sure yet, but I'm gonna walk around a little bit more and see what I come up with. Right, so I found this to be a little bit trickier than I thought in the first place. I am going to use my 10 to 24mm on it, but let me just swing round and I'll show you. We've got it up like that at the moment. It's a really tricky shot because I'm getting soap laid on the ground here. So I've decided to go for a slightly different angle. Instead of using the oak, that gnarly old oak tree on the the left hand side there, I've decided to go for the tree that's over there. See that oak over there? And that actually looks quite nice in this arch here, and the picture draws you through towards that at the end, and we've got this in the foreground, which is really imposing, and then it drops off to this little tree in the background. It's huge, but it does look a lot smaller with a 10mm on. So I'll be taking that. I'll be shooting, what are my settings for this? So we've got 1/10 of a second, f11, and at 10mm. That will be my first shot, and then I'm going to swap the lenses over and I'm going to go for my 18 to 140, and I was going to go to my original shot, which is that tree over there, the gnarly old oak in the background, and try and bring it a bit closer and still trying to incorporate some of this one which is in front of us. Let's see how they turn out. It's misting up everywhere now. It's getting quite misty, and it's really warm actually. It's about 15 degrees centigrade. It's almost t-shirt weather. So I've got to my same composition that I used my 10mm lens on. I'm now switched over to my 18 to 140mm. We're a little bit further back. We're about 35 foot back from the first oak at the moment, and I will be shooting on portrait mode. We're going to be shooting at f16, ISO 100, and at about 80mm or so. First thing I want to do is, on manual focus, just make sure that that first trunk has got plenty of detail on it, because that is going to really emphasize the image when I get it back to edit it. Now I'm not quite sure if I'll be editing with black and white or colour for this image. There's nothing in the sky at all, so I might go for a black and white. I'm not as good at editing black and white as I am with colour stuff, but I will also give it a go anyway, and whatever turns out best will be the one I post. So manual focus, 3-second timer. Let's see how that has turned out. It's been a fantastic day exploring all this heath. and not getting my feet too wet, shall we say, because it's absolutely flooded out there. But I managed to make my way round, got it out of my system now, and I've taken all the pictures I want to of that heathland over the past couple of videos now. So I'll be making my way back to the car. It's about a 3-mile walk back, which isn't too bad, but instead of going back the same way I came, I'm going to go through that forest or that woodland just behind me there and scout that out on the way back. Hopefully I should be able to get some good images next time I come here, because I've just thought that I'm going to come back to this place a few more times yet. Last time I came here about 6-7 years ago with when I was mountain biking, so it's nice to come back and relive some of the scenes that I've seen before, shall we say. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please like and subscribe, and until next time, see ya.